Somebody break it up.
This is sad, y'all.
Watch out for that water.
Please stop. Please stop.
It's sad, y'all.
Please stop.
Mike, go get someone ready.
All right, everyone. So listen, the still shots of the video of a fight that broke out at the Cork and Bull Chop House in Chesapeake, Virginia, has sparked a discrimination lawsuit against the restaurant. So the video was uploaded by the individual that was recording back on November 7th. And she said, "Don't go to Cork and Bull Raw Bar and Chop House, Chesapeake, Virginia. We had the most hurtful and disrespectful experience." November 6, 2025 was meant to be a night of fellowship and celebration among friends. She said it was a time to enjoy good food, laughter, and friendship, and give thanks. This was their Friendsgiving. She said, "I made reservations for a party of 9 at 6:30 p.m., and we were seated around 6:45 p.m. Shortly after being seated, and just as we began placing our drink orders, we heard a noise that initially sounded like dishes or glasses falling. We soon realized it was a physical altercation between two guests, two Black women, unfortunately, seated nearby, who were not associated with our table in any way." She says, "Although my table had no involvement in the incident, manager Andrew Lewis approached our table, addressed me because I made the reservations, and advised us that we would not be served and needed to leave. When I asked whether the restaurant was closing due to the altercation, he replied, 'No, we're just not servicing you all because y'all like to fight.' His statement and actions appear to be based solely on the fact that the individuals involved in the altercation, as well as our group, are Black." She said no other tables were questioned or asked to leave. 95% of the other guests were non-African American. She said this experience was both humiliating and deeply hurtful. We were treated with suspicion and disrespect, singled out not for our behavior, but seemingly because of our race. We are a group of educated Black women that carry ourselves with respect, grace, and dignity. And she said, "What I tell y'all, we were livid." She said, "It's so sad that racism still exists." We exited the restaurant and went to Luce Secondos, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. She said it was next door, and they were treated with the utmost respect. Even their managers apologized to us.
Night of fellowship for this group of women
Turned into a night of hurt, embarrassment, and pure humiliation.
The 9 women had chosen to have a Friendsgiving dinner at Cork and Bull.
We only had time to order our drinks, and a fight broke out between two African American women that had nothing to do with us.
Somebody break it up.
This is video of the altercation. The 9 women say it happened between guests at a table that was across the room. The 2 women seen throwing blows ultimately left before authorities arrived. But somehow, restaurant staff thought these 9 women who were still inside were somehow involved and told them to leave too.
So I asked why, and he responded saying, "Because you all like to fight." And they made us leave and get up in front of all the other patrons in the restaurant.
We were really in like a negative spotlight at that moment, and it was all eyes on us. It was very embarrassing.
The 9 ladies are now pursuing legal action. Their lawyer sat down with us.
Just because you have employees that might have made a bad judgment one night, that could turn into 2 nights, 3 nights, 4 nights. It has to stop.
The women say the restaurant staff has not reached out to provide an apology or update.
All 9 of these ladies were treated more harshly than the 2 people who were actually engaged in the misdemeanor action.
Their lawyer says they want accountability and justice.
We can say this is discrimination. We can say this violates the Equal Protection Clause. They have said enough is enough, and we're not going to take it.
Treat your customers with dignity and respect.
Now, before we get into the details of the lawsuit, imagine going to a nice restaurant and you start fighting. And the one girl, I had to blur it out, but she literally didn't have any panties on. All you saw was her behind. And I'm thinking, who does that? I mean, the fact that your behind is out to all these patrons inside this restaurant and you don't have absolutely no shame. People have to do better. But as far as the lawsuit, the ladies are now suing the steakhouse, and in the complaint, they say they were publicly humiliated, wrongfully removed, discriminated against, and treated unfairly compared to the other diners. And honestly, I don't blame them, because based on what they described, they weren't just asked to leave. They were treated like they were the ones that started the fight, and they had nothing to do with it. They were just there, totally separate table, trying to enjoy a Friendsgiving. So, like guilt by association, simply because they shared the same skin color. And that's just not fair. So something else that we need to address is just how often Black people get punished collectively. People can be literally minding their own business and will still get blamed, profiled, or in this case, removed from a restaurant simply because somebody else who looks like them caused an issue. And the fact that the restaurant still hasn't apologized to these ladies, no phone call, no email, just nothing. And that type of silence to me says a whole lot. And that is why this lawsuit matters, because sometimes the only way businesses pay attention is when you hit them in their pockets. If y'all can't apologize to the people you wronged, then clearly you need a legal reminder that discrimination is not customer service. So drop down in the comments, you guys. Let me know your thoughts about all of this. This is what's happening, and I'll talk to you in the next video. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from what's happening.